Hey Gems! Welcome to A Gem Forever, a podcast designed to keep things real, righteous, and relevant. I'm your host, Andrea, an educator and a Christian blogger. I desire to help others become the best version of themselves while realizing the gem they are within. Remember, gems have to be molded and shaped, so let's get to work and start applying some pressure. All right, hey Gems, welcome to episode 3 of the A Gem Forever podcast. I am so excited to be having a conversation with my best friend, April Lanier. We are going to be talking about something that she and I have been talking about a lot recently. This podcast is called Access Denied, and we're going to be talking about just the intentions of relationships. She and I have been talking a lot about this. She has been dealing with this a lot lately, and so I thought it would make a wonderful podcast topic because I know relationships and figuring out who you should be engaging with and interacting with and things of that nature is something that a lot of people struggle with. So we just want to have a wonderful girl talk, just a face-to-face conversation, real chill, real relaxed, and just kind of talk about different things that God has placed in our hearts. So I will let April introduce herself, and then we'll just dive right into it. Go ahead, best friend.
Thank you, best friend, for having me. It's an honor to be here. It is my first speaking engagement. Um, I'm just the best friend that kind of just makes sure everybody smile. That friend. I've been through a lot of dark, so I have that dark humor, and just to know that you can't get through anything. I'm a living testimony. I'm still the walking witness. So access denied is pretty much is where I stand at as far as dating and actually even engaging with the male species because you have to know your timing. You have to know yourself. You have to get to know thyself. And if you keep jumping from relationships or situationships or quote unquote friendship, you never get to reevaluate and say, hey, this could have been kind of prevented or ended a different way.
Well, best friend just went ahead and just dove right in. Go ahead, best friend. I love it. So, the scripture that we're going to be standing on for this podcast is Proverbs 4:23 from the NIV, which is the New International Version. And basically, it just says, above all else, guard your heart. From everything you do flows from it. It's a very powerful scripture and one that I don't think we actually put a lot of weight on in regards to guarding our heart, because it is something that we do have to protect because our emotions flow from it, how we feel, our thought processes, how we think, all of that flows from our heart. And it's truly something that we have to guard and protect, to make sure that not everyone has access to it. Only those people, who God has, allowed to have access and, permitted to have access to it and being able to discern, who we should allow to have access to it. So we're going to just kind of dive right in. So you ready, best friend?
I am ready.
So one of the things that we have been talking about lately is just relationships and intentions in regards to them. And so my first question to you, best friend, is why do you think it's important to be intentional about the relationships that you engage in? I have my own, answer to that, but I want to hear what you have to say.
I believe it's intentional to be about the relationships that you do engage in because one, you have to be able to guard your spirit. You don't want to waste any time, energy, your emotions, and deplete your spiritual being. When you're not intentionally about what you're engaging is, you end up pretty much empty because that person just wants to take from you. Intentionally, you're being intentional with your efforts or what you're trying to establish. And if they're not on the same page, your intentions, they were pure, but they wasn't asked for, if that makes sense. And so you end up kind of with an egg on your face if you're not intentional. You have to know thyself and you got to know what you bring to the table.
Good, best friend. Don't be so nervous. Y'all should see her. She's real nervous. Relax, best friend. It's okay.
My hands sweaty, y'all.
Relax, boo. It's just a conversation. I think it's very important to be intentional about the relationships you get engaged in. It's something that I stand firmly on, and especially as I've grown, just more as an adult and grown more mature spiritually, it's something that I truly stand by. I think everything in life that you engage in, and every relationship, whether it be romantic, whether it be just friendships, or whatever, even like work relationships, I feel like everything in your life should be intentional, and it should have a purpose. Because if it doesn't have any intention or have a purpose, why do you engage in it? So just in regards to, like, a friendship, if I'm meeting a new person and trying to determine whether or not this person is going to be my friend, what intentional purpose does this person serve? Like, what value are they going to bring to my life? What value am I going to bring and add to their life? Why does God want us to be together? What purpose do we serve in being in relationship together? And it's something I think it's very important for us to consider, because you don't want people in your life who are just kind of there taking up space. It's very important to be intentional about who you engage with, because if they're not going to be with you, taking you higher, they're going to be the person that's going to keep you stagnant or taking you back somewhere that you don't want to go. So it's very important. I feel as though it's very important to be intentional about who you engage in relationship with because of that. Want to add anything else, best
I
friend?
do. And just even your direction, you can be going up and they can be going backwards. And you don't want to, especially if you had to build yourself up. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm not taking anything away from God, but you had to sit in some mess. You got out of a relationship and you sat in it and you learned the last thing you want is to go back to what God delivered you from,
Mm-hmm. That's good,
And
best friend.
the thing is, you have to be intentional. You gotta set them boundaries, and you gotta be able to recognize and actually, for real, you gotta look at people's characters. You gotta look at their characters. You gotta look at their effort and their intentions, because if it ain't lining up, it's not gonna line up. I'm just gonna be honest. If it ain't lining up, and really, I give you about a good 7 to 10 days.
7 to 10 business
Seven,
days.
7 to 10 business days. You got to show me, and if not, you know, God bless you on the block list.
I know, right? But I feel like too, sometimes it don't even take 7 to 10 days. Like, quickly, I think, when you interact with people,
Yep,
like
I'm
when
like
you
Medea. You know what? How you came right across that room? I can tell you right now, it ain't even gonna work.
yeah.
Matter of fact, I can see how you put that part in the middle of that haircut. And
Bye, best friend. No.
we ain't gonna be able to go to church this Sunday. I'm going by myself.
But when you are good, I can't with you. When you a good discerner of people, I truly feel like you kind of know right away, like whether or not this person is somebody who you need to be engaging with further, or if it's like, nah, Slim, like, we good. Like, I met you here, it was okay. Thank you for the time you tried, but it's not gonna it's not gonna work.
No,
you
best
know.
friend. I'm gonna leave him. Just see, best friend is y'all. She the stern one. Me, I be trying to put up that hard exterior, but I give people a chance, and so it's like for me, it's like, all right, I don't be trying to judge the book by its cover first, because I know I'm a little jacked up
Mm-hmm.
inside, and I know I came through some stuff. But I ain't gonna lie, you start. It only take but a second, and all you have to do is say, "Lord, reveal it," and He start revealing it, and you start getting irritated. Already setting it up and getting you up out of the situation.
Exactly. Go ahead, best friend. Look at you talking about I'm the stern one. You.
But I'm not, and I don't want anyone to beat themselves up about discernment, because I just started really increasing my prayer on discernment. Um, Cause I be trying to get a person, and the Lord, He be trying to put me on a time limit, so I gotta get Him first time in the morning between 3 and 6. So I can't get everything in, cause I still gotta get my worship in. Y'all, worship is so powerful, even when you going through, even with discerning. Praise is good, but worship is important. Praise is giving, telling someone how the goodness of God. But worship is worshiping God when you for any nothing, just because who He is. And I'm telling you, when you do that, He start revealing everything, and He start providing. You be like, I didn't even know I had $25 in my couch. Or or you'll be like, Lord, I didn't even know he was going to get that man weave. And here I am with some locks. So, y'all, I'm telling you, worship God, and He will reveal everything to you. I'm gonna
I'm
be honest,
dying.
because some people, and that's why I love my best friend, because She allows me to be so raw and transparent and me. Like, y'all, when I tell you, I take it all. I tell her I'm only going to talk for 5 minutes, and it always turns into a 2 hour conversation, and we be 10 minutes. All right, best friend, we love you. I can be so raw with her. I'm not the best in discerning. I think I really probably just arrived in October. I really just arrived in October, and it's like, you know what? You right, Lord. You know what? Thank you for this. I wouldn't even looked at it like that. You know what I'm saying? And God, like, I'm just trying to show you where I brought you from. And you resisting. And it don't and not just men, it also goes also the other way because women can also be manipulative. So men, I don't want you to think that we leaving y'all out. You know, you can have it can be a Jezebel that'll come across you. It can be a Delilah that come across you at the go-go where you're not supposed to be at. But you know, say hi, how you doing, but keep it moving. You got to get to church. You got to be able to discern. Sometimes everything, even though it's kind of like window shopping, you might want it, but you don't got the money. Leave it there. We ain't going in
Oh,
depth.
that's a word, best friend. That's
That's
a
a
whole
word.
word. Drop it in
You
their
know,
spirit, girl. I love it. Ah!
now I'm trying to tell you to don't get me ready for this ministry. You know, it's like window shopping. You don't got no money, you can't even get it. But let me tell you, God today, God will allow you to touch it. God will allow you to feel it, but you can't take it home. And that's how you gotta do. You know, that's what you gotta do with some of these relationships. And when I say touch, I'm not talking about in the way that you ain't supposed to, but I'm saying He will allow that interaction. And for real, like even best friend says, sometimes you can pick up right then and there. You know what? This not gonna work. I see where your mentality is. I see the way you think. And if this is how you think already, you know, I don't want to judge you, but where I'm at in my life, I can't allow that in my space right now. I'm
Mm-hmm.
protecting my peace and I'm protecting my energy. We have gotten caught up so much in caring for other people that we
We
actually
neglect ourselves. Yep.
we neglect ourselves in self-care. You know, even just to see the rise of the mental that people is going through and they feel like they don't have anyone to talk to. 2020, we are breaking this stigma that I'm embarrassed, so I ain't gonna talk about what I went through. No, we need you to talk about because there's somebody that's coming behind you that needs that. Even if they don't listen, you think they
You
don't
planted that
listen,
seed,
you
yeah.
planted the seed, and it's gonna keep talking to them. You know what I'm saying? It's already like you already interceded for them. What you went through was not in vain. And don't let the enemy think that what you went through was that. You know what I'm saying? Everything is a learning process.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you being a fool and naive, you know, God take a mess and have a whole message out of it. You just gotta kind of pay attention, and you can't do that until you sit down and sit in it. You know, take that time and be single, enjoy yourself. And I'm gonna tell you, do y'all know how much money that you save yourself? How much money? Do you know all them restaurants that I always wanted to go to, that I always wanted somebody to take me to? I can do it on my own, and I can leave a tip.
I know that's right, best friend. Yes, girl. You better leave the gratuity to 20%. What's the next question? I cannot. I love you. All right. So moving on to the next question. So how do you determine who has access to you?
So I have two answers on that. My first question is,
Yeah, she
I'm sorry,
prepared.
first
She got
question.
notes and everything.
The first answer is honestly, streetwise, that's the trick. You really don't know. You don't know until that interaction. And something will there y'all there's really is something true that's called motion and unction up in your gut and in your spirit. You gotta listen to it because you don't know until you have that interaction. And I'm not necessarily saying you gotta talk to that person, but walk up on them, feel their energy, just be quiet. If your spirit man start to jump, go on over there on the other side of the room and get some water. You know, but I don't want you to be scared and be like, I gotta run from that person because that person, it might not even be anything romantic. It can be
Mm-hmm.
platonic, and for real, it just can be somebody that God put in your path to pray for. You know,
That's
so
good, best
you
friend.
have to, you gotta be able to discern that, and even if not, even if you still be like, I ain't gonna do it, this access denied, these my boundaries, I'm trying to get myself. what you say is, Lord, I don't know why they came across my path, but if it was a prayer, I touch and agree that you move on their behalf on the stipulations that they have the petitions before you, and you leave it in God's hand. Still be obedient. But all that other foolishness, can I take you out? First of all, you got a job, you got a car, and you got your own place to live. And it's not just for men. This go for females too. You got a car, you got a job, and you got your own place. I'm not talking about living with roommates and stuff like that. Because if you need a roommate, then you should be home. You should be. I'm just gonna be honest. If you need a roommate, you need to be home because you out there with them roommates and ain't nothing.
I love it. Oh, keep going, best friend. No, keep going.
Ain't nothing
Talk
good
to
gonna
the
come from
people.
that. You around people. This is the thing. When you down and out, you need for real. You need that tough love. You need some structure. You can't do that with no roommate. Roommate, they sitting here and hyping you up to do stuff that you ain't got no business dealing with, and or even just taking advantage of you. Your mama and daddy ain't even about to do that. Now they is gonna want that light bill and that cable bill. Everybody should should provide and contribute to the household. But what they not about to do is let Ashley or Derek come up in their house and lay. That's not what we about to do. Their job is to help prepare you to get you for the real world, not to hinder and enable you. And sometimes my friends do that, and you got to know that with your friends. Like, you got to know what friends to talk to. I'm just gonna be honest. So it's time for to get serious about everybody that you have in your circle. And if you're only the go to person, you're gonna have to fall back on them. I'm gonna be honest. And I tell best friend that, even just the other day, I was like, dang, best friend, I really be chilling. I be having an event about my family, but don't worry, they made the list for 2019. We gotta protect our peace. And I'm telling you guys from somebody that not even almost. I'm gonna just go ahead and say I lost my mind, but I thank God that I got it back. When I tell y'all lost my mind behind friendship by ships. I won't even say friends or really. I'm talking about ships. I was always been involved with ships that wasn't taking me anywhere and that was sinking. And when I met Andrea last year, and y'all wouldn't even know it's only been a year. It feel like 50 years
It
we've been
does.
knowing each other. When I met her, I said, Lord, I already had to say, God, I need to be around godly women and women that I can empower and that can empower me. And it just so happened she came to church. And I was like, God was like, that's her. I said, that's her. You want me to do this right now? Right now, Lord. I just prayed for this the other day. I thought you were gonna give me a few months. He like right now. She just kept standing. I was like, all right, Lord, we going. But if she say no, you owe me a new car.
It's funny.
And it just instantly, just like that, we've been two peas in the
I
pod.
know, and it's funny because she told me that story that day. I remember the day like it was yesterday, and I sat next to her, and she was telling me. He told me the exact same thing that day that you had been praying for, more godly female friends. And when I exchanged, because typically, you exchange numbers with people, and then sometimes you really just don't keep in touch. But I felt like literally so compelled to just follow up with her and to keep in touch with her and to go out and just like just sit and talk to her because she was like she wanted to go out just kind of sit down and like talk and just interact and just kind of like get to know me. And I felt really compelled to do it. So that's how I knew like she was somebody that God wanted me to have in my space because I felt so compelled within my spirit to do it. Like I felt led to her and drawn to her, and that's one of the ways I feel like when somebody is kind of allowed access to you, like when you really feel compelled in your spirit to give them access to you. And I know sometimes as people, like and especially a lot of times as Christians, you don't want to be so closed off and you don't want to be closed minded either. And think and have it in a way that you think that how can I put it? Have it in a way like that, you don't want people thinking like, oh, you're this way or you're that way, or like,
Mm-hmm.
I can't, engage with this person and engage with that. And oftentimes it's not even that. It's just more so you truly do have to guard your heart and use your discernment and decide, God, is this person somebody that you want for me? And if it is, why? And so that's going back, like, to the why, like, when determining whether or not somebody has access to you, like, why does this person, need access to you, or why do you need access to them? Whether it's like some type of connection in regards to your career, or like networking, or even in regards to friendship, like, and with this friendship, what is going to be built. Because sometimes, people will just come and just kind of take up space, and I have been very trying to be very intentional about making sure people don't take up space in my life, and making sure I don't take up space in anybody else's life, especially knowing that I'm there's no reason for me to be there, because you can't be everywhere at one time. I can't be in everybody's life. Everybody can't be in my life, but there could be someone else who's more beneficial to them. So when I met April, like, after talking to her and, like, just praying, I was like, I knew that we were meant, to be friends, and I knew God had us in each other's life for a reason. And as she talks, she has been such a blessing, to me, to allow me to just, be comfortable, because she's so comfortable in being herself. It allows me to truly be comfortable, in being myself and being who I am, and not feeling guilty or ashamed about it. And I appreciate her so much for that, and I'm so thankful that God connected us. And so I know that she isn't a seasonal friend in my life. I know that she's here to stay. She knows that I'm here to stay. I ain't going anywhere.
We stuck together like glue.
Yeah, we are stuck together like glue. But it's really good. It's really good to just truly truly seek God on, who is supposed to be in your life, and who is allowed access to you, because truly everybody isn't. Like, there are people who are supposed to be there, and there are people who aren't. I won't skip ahead. So let me go ahead to the next question, which was, how do you know when someone is only around for a season? Because there are times when people are just seasonal, and I've dealt with a lot of just people, and even in relationships, that people are literally just supposed to be in your life for a season. They're supposed to get something from you from that season in time. You're supposed to get something from them from that season in time, and then after that, you move on with your life. They move on with theirs, and that's it. And but sometimes it's kind of hard for people to draw that line and understand if that person why that person is there, and if they're only around for a season, and to know when that season is up, and when to let that person go. I'm sorry, because oftentimes you do have to let seasonal people go. So, best friend, what's your take on that? How do you know when someone is only around for a season, and what do you do in regards to that?
Well, when someone's only around for a season, you see it. They they're more of takers. I'm just gonna be honest. They're more takers. They're hindering you mentally, spiritually, and emotionally. Um, there's no help. You're always the help, even when you don't got it. I mean, you can be a negative $50 in your account, and they like, I really need $25. I really need you to come through. And here you is calling your Uncle Lou to borrow $25 for them. You know what I'm saying? And they ain't gonna pay you back, but you
Mm-hmm.
gotta pay Uncle Lou back. So when they in your season, you, and usually when it's your season, you just it do come out of nowhere for real. You be like, all right, Lord, what's going on here? Stand still and let them reveal and show their courage to their courage to this. Don't be so quick to be that saving person,
Mm-hmm.
and that's pretty much how you know. And when they season is up, when you get irritated, they when you start rolling your eyes at your phone, or when you even start fixing your mouth to even say aloud that you know you gotta repent, that season is over. You need to remove yourself. Forget them removing themselves. Remove yourself immediately, because what's going to happen is it's going to damage your mental and
Mm-hmm.
your spiritual man. God gonna be like, I don't got time for that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? He gonna put y'all right on hold like he do me at 6 a.m. every morning. I be going right in the prayer, and I just be like, well, what happened? All right, I'm gonna just listen to Tasha Cobbs. But yeah, when you start getting irritated, you get that feeling something not right.
Mm-hmm.
Listen. And I used to be like, what gut feeling? I ain't feel no gut feeling. I don't know nothing about no gut feeling. But let me tell y'all, the end of October, I cried out to God. When I say the gut feeling, that gut feeling had me home for a whole day. I was like, all right, Lord, I think I was in a war zone, but I got it. And you
Mm-hmm.
got to remove yourself, because if you don't, even if the person not toxic or bad for you, and actually you're actually on the other side. You know, you came into their life. You got to know when it's your time to go. Because what happened is you can become an enabler yourself, and in that you don't want to enable anyone. You know, nobody wants to be used, and I don't know what's up with this generation. I think it's cool. But I do thank God for my family, because we don't do every able body provide for themselves. So ain't no more youth in over here. And no.
That's good, best friend. I think for me, when it's like I kind of know, like when someone has only been around for a season, I know when like the season is up. If that makes sense. Not even if it. Sometimes it could be like they were in my life for a season and a negative experience happened up, and sometimes they're in my life for a season and it has been a positive experience. But it's like when the season is at its end, it's kind of like and sometimes like it, I feel like intentionally, like it kind of starts to
Drift apart.
yeah drift apart and wither away, and then sometimes it's kind of like unintentionally, like the season is up. Not even like they took from me or I took from them, but it's like I got what I needed from that person. That person got what they needed from me. And now it's time for us to, depart from each other and go our separate ways and take what it is that we learn from one another and use that to go on and and further ourselves in life. And it's truly understanding, and I think what has helped me is truly understanding that sometimes people are truly only there for a season, and me making sure, because sometimes as people we want to keep people around for longer than what they're supposed to be there, and they're not. They're literally only there for a season. And when I think I kind of get a notion of when someone is just there for a season, and so when I do, I always pray and I make sure that I don't take advantage of the season that I had with that person. And making sure, like, God, I know this person is only going to be around for a season. So what is it that you want me to get from them, and what is it that you want them to get from me, and not misusing the season? Because I'll just take it to, like, just say for example, like you may be you may meet a guy or something like that, and y'all, you vibe or whatever, y'all get along very well, and so immediately, like a lot, oftentimes, like with us, stuff kind of jumps to like the romantic sector. And I have with myself, I've had to be very mindful of that and realizing that this person isn't in your, especially girl, like God ain't say this man was your husband, so this person isn't in your life for that. Like he's in your life for a season right now, um, and there's something that I want you to learn from him, and I want maybe it's about yourself in regards to how you handle romantic stuff. It could be a test from God and Him saying, like I'm going to bring this person here. I'm going to see what it is that you're going to do because we've been evaluating patterns in your life, and you know that you do X, Y, and Z. So I'm going to put him here, and I'm going to see what it is that you're going to do. In regards to that these are your patterns, and that if you do something this way, how it's going to turn out. But if you do something the way in which you've learned not to do it, this is how it's going to go. And so kind of evaluating things in that sense has helped me out a lot. And just, I think when you kind of just get a feeling to know when somebody is truly only there for a season, and if they're actually there to be in your life for long term. So I've just been very intentional about not misusing my season with that person, and understanding that I'm supposed to be gaining something from them. They're going to gain something from me, and when it's time for us to cut ties and separate ways, um, there isn't going to be any hard feelings. It's just going to, like, it's going to be, we're just going to move on with our lives, and that's going to be that. But we were in each other's lives for a reason, and that was that, and me making sure I learn what it is that I need to learn from it and grow in the way in which I need to grow and keep it moving forward. Because that person, God didn't want that person to have access to me for an extended period of time, but He just wanted us to have access to each other for that season and that position.
Right, and I agree. That moment of season, just even knowing to, just even knowing that, like you said, season, just because it's a season don't mean that it's good or bad. And you never know. You may be departing in this season, and you meet back up in another season.
That's true too. Yeah.
And the thing we do it all the time. But look at our elementary friends, our middle school friends, our high school friends. They gone on about their lives. We do you for the most part. You barely see your high school friends every day or all the time. For the most part, you scroll on Instagram or Facebook, to be like, they still living, they still doing good. All right, little new done got big, and you keep it on moving,
Mhm.
So, and that school was a season,
Mhm.
And some people like, well, how do I know the season? Like you said, when it starts to kind of drift off, and just ask God, what is it? And even if you don't know, God, are we done? Is we
Mhm.
up? He answer you.
He
He
does.
definitely answer you.
Girl, he does. And it's definitely us listening to him when he answers, because will clearly give you an answer and be like, I said what I said, and that's that. And I'm gonna let you take the reins and do what it is that you need to do with it. Because God don't clearly answer us and be like, but God, I didn't think I heard you. Yes, you did.
Yep. And even if you try to play with him, he'll start holding things up
Mhm.
because they cannot have access to those blessings.
Yes, that's right, and it's crazy because oftentimes, like when you let people let like literally, like I had when I let a certain person go, like my life completely changed. And like everything I'm praying for, all the stuff that I wanted just kind of started to unfold, and it's crazy how you holding on to a person that's no longer supposed to be there truly blocks your blessings. Like God is, I'm gonna hold everything off from you until you do what I said that I wanted you to do. I told you to let this person go. You're not listening to me, so I'm gonna just put your life at a standstill. You let them go, and then every single thing that you've been praying for, it starts to manifest. And it was exactly tied to that one single person. It's crazy. And I don't think we realize that oftentimes as people that we allow other people to block our blessings and hold back what God has for us because we're being disobedient and choosing not to listen to what He's told us to do. But yeah, girl, that's a whole nother
That's a
topic.
whole topic. And I mean,
That's a whole topic in itself. Oh my gosh.
I've been rebellious. I'll be like, I just did some things. I was like, I'm gonna do it my way, and I was like, all right,
And
you
yeah.
gonna do it your way. All right, we're gonna see how that's gonna work out. But I just thank God for His compassion, though. He has compassion, but don't try him, y'all.
Yeah, because like he will
Try
give you, like literally, you have free will. You have the choice to do whatever it is that you want to do, even if he's told you to do otherwise. He's gonna let you do what you want to do. But he's like, I'm gonna watch you fall on your face, and I'm gonna watch you call on me to pick yourself back up, and then I'm gonna watch you do what it is that I asked you to do, and we gonna move forward. Because he's good that way, but he will give you instructions, and he will let you fall
to
down.
get a spanking.
Exactly, and pick yourself back up and keep it
My
moving.
baby Lele, she be like a spank in the butt. A spank in the butt. Yes, he give Auntie a spank in the butt. Auntie did not listen.
Yes, give you a spank in the butt, but he's like, my child, I still love you, and I know that you will learn from this experience, and you're gonna come out on the other side so much greater
And
than you entered this.
just to piggyback real quick on just going back to the when we were talking about determining when somebody has access and sees them, both of them goes into one another. Even though you may depart from someone and so you can grow. When
Mhm.
y'all link back up, it's like y'all ain't missing out a beat.
Mhm.
It's I have my god sister Shadon. She's an author and I love her. Like I've seen her done everything. Like I even remember when she was 12 years old and just I can be like, dang, since you roll out dressing, she knew how to do the curls. And when I say dress, like how they dress now, I want to say, man, she was already on it
Mhm.
almost 11 years ago. And just to see, she's a wonderful mother and she's an author now. The crazy part is we work right behind each other down
Mhm.
at the harbor, y'all. Barely really get to see each other. But every time we try to do at least once every 2 weeks, link up or have that conversation. And it's like we ain't missing out a beat. You know what
Mhm.
I'm saying? And you should be just rocking with each other for the last 15 years, no matter how far she moved, cause she had moved y'all down 210. Y'all, oh have
Move
mercy,
down
210
Indian girl.
Landover. You was like, what? But we cook, so coming for and see me, I'm all down for some cooking in the conversation, and that's how it is, and we sometimes, and it has been seasons where we went maybe 2 or 3 months and we didn't talk,
Mhm.
where we just really in passing on Instagram posts, and when we are in each other person, it's just like I'm welcome home, you know what I'm
Mhm.
saying, and we pick up, so that's how it can be sometimes you the season has ended, the season has begun. There's a timeout, it's a recess. Sometimes you got to get yourself together. You know,
Yeah.
you can be a little bit overwhelmed, especially if this is a lesson that you wasn't prepared
Mhm.
for, but God needs you to get it now
Mhm.
because where He's getting ready to take you at is very crucial that you understand this now because it's coming.
Mhm.
And you got to be able to know how to withstand that now. Even though you may not be ready, God got you. He gonna have you ready. He ain't you gonna bend, but you ain't gonna fold. You ain't gonna break. So with that, don't be scared to let people go. And I used to be scared to let people go. You guys, I used to be scared to let people go because a little bit on my story. My mom died when I was 17 on my grandmother's birthday. I graduated the 26th of May, and the 27th of May, my best friend at the time moved to North Carolina.
Mhm.
My other best friend moved to Texas. And so it's like I was losing people. So I would hold on to things. It's kind of like even if y'all look at hoarders, hoarders hold on to stuff because stuff has always been taking care of them and they're scared to give things up. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So I was scared to let go of some things. And in some relationships, I even with my marriage, my kids are a blessing, yes, but we was together for so many years and we didn't have any kids, and then they came along and all hell broke loose. But here's the blessing is that is the kids are the blessing. They are the chosen royal priesthood. They when I say they have certified the priesthood across on both sides, on their mom's side and on their father's side, they are first, whether it's the son or the daughter. You see how God blessed that, and then He got me out of that situation. And I can breathe, and if for so many years I didn't speak about it, but like now I'm empowered. Like let's take it all off, and that's why I'm here today. Like you have to recognize those seasons. You gotta recognize some people because even if you don't know y'all, just pray. God, even if God busy, even if He tired of asking you, even if He gave you the answer and you didn't get it, He will tell it to you again. He will tell it to you again because He cares. He loves you,
He is a
and
loving
He is
father.
our
Yes.
Father. Our Daddy loves us. He very protective of us. But just like in the natural, sometimes we gotta have a spanking of a butt.
Exactly. But after that spanking, he does. He comes back to you and tells you what you did wrong and tells you what you
Yes.
need to do to correct it and helps you
And
grow
he
and
still
move
let it drip
forward.
drip, he gonna let you feel it and you gotta feel it, he gonna let you feel it, but let me say he got a little ram in the bush. It might be just something as little as you got an extra $50 or somebody paid for your Starbucks or the hookup came through with some stamps. You never know. You
You
never
know
know.
what? You
God
know
will
what?
God because that's what God is all knowing and He knows your needs. And just because you did the work and you relied on Him and you cared and you cast your burdens out, He like, all right, my child, come in. Let's eat this ice
That's a real best friend. That's real. It's funny, girl, but it is so real. I can't. All right, so let's move on to the next question.
cream.
All right, yes. So, what have been some determining factors or deal breakers in denying people access to you or having to cut them off?
Energy, energy, spiritual life, and then looking at what they bring to the table.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know what I bring to the table. And I'm not going to say that I'm perfect or I got a full spread, but I know I bring something to the
Mm-hmm.
table, and
Knowing your worth, yeah.
knowing your worth. And if they don't know their worth, and they looking on you to tell it, what? How am I evaluate that? You don't got bands out here telling Nissan how much they should be out here for. Shoot, Nissan like, oh, we 40,000 too now. Even though we plastic, we worth just as much. All of us fiberglass. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta be like, so what make your fiberglass different? You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? And then here's the thing: if you are that person and you give them the opportunity and you give them some advice, you praying for them, or you say, hey, let's look at it at a different perspective, and they don't,
Mm-hmm.
they won't, they're not even committed to. You have to remove yourself because all they want is attention.
Mm-hmm.
My deal breaker, it is your energy. It is your spirituality. Of just those four things. First of all, do you love the Lord? Do you got a relationship with Him? Do you go to church? Well, which church service do you go to? What church do you go to? Do you got your own house? You got your own car? Do you got a job? All right. You don't got them things, baby. We gonna have to go because I'm there. You know what I'm saying? I'm still working on it, but I need a friend that I can go to church with. You know what I'm saying? When I can't pray for myself, I know you can, or you can
Mhm.
touch and agree with me. So sometimes you gotta cut back. Even as far as dating, like it's all about knowing thyself. You know what I'm saying? Like if they're hindering you and not helping you, if you're the help and they're not doing anything, um, they're more of a taker than a giver.
Mhm.
They're not even there for you mentally,
Mhm.
emotionally, spiritually, financially, because girls, we need, fellas, it's let me tell y'all, it's okay to help a girl out with her nails every now and then. We got y'all with the haircut. Help a sister out, Help a sister out. I wish y'all could see these nails. Help a sister out. But it's not even necessarily, oh, I gave that person money or I'm doing this. It's Sean. You know what? I appreciate you. I see what you're doing. You poured into me. God bless me. I'm gonna bless you.
Mhm.
And people, sometimes that's how you stop y'all blessings because God bless you enough to where you supposed to drip, drip, and y'all don't. Y'all be so greedy and keeping it, and then you wonder why ain't no more manna coming from heaven because you done got yours, theirs, and your extras. So you got to be able. And let me tell you, y'all, to deny people access is all about your boundaries and where you at too though.
Mhm.
Like you have to learn thyself, you have to respect thyself. You have to be like, you know what? Hold up. I'm working on me. Yes, you a fine man, but I'm working on me. I've been through some things and I gotta do some work. Right now is not the time.
Mhm. That's good, best friend. Yes, determining the time for
The
things.
timing
Yeah.
for things. And so you have to be the one to say, I'm going to deny access because I'm not ready.
Mhm.
Hold yourself
Yes.
accountability because that person can be ready and, they can be willing and, ready to help you, but you're not there yet to actually receive it.
Mhm.
So you're going to damage them. And now we got two more damaged people.
Mhm.
We're trying to stop that. So you got to know thyself to be like, you know what? I'm not even on the dating scene. It doesn't phase me. Especially right now, I don't got about no Christmas gift or Valentine's Day gift. Call it me in the summertime.
Girl,
You know
especially
we
in the
can.
season where people disappearing, so they ain't got to buy Christmas gifts.
What? Now you can come
Starting fights and
come
everything else.
come holler at us. Come to springtime. We be up at Walker Mill Park. We do like male crabs, and ginger ale soda. Don't worry about the ice. We get that from Wawa. We like the real crushed good ice. But a bag of crabs, we don't mind if you want to get garlic or season whatever the Lord put on your heart. Springtime to September. Those are the good date. You don't gotta worry about bringing around family and the family seeing that person. You First of all, you're not even supposed to be out there dating intentionally. But some people don't know how to be alone, and you need that companionship. So that's another thing with when coming to access denied and denying people access to you. Not everybody comes to you off of a romantic or platonic. It may just even a companionship,
Mhm.
and companionship doesn't necessarily have to be like intimate. When I used to volunteer at the nursing home, I used to have this lady named Miss Thomas, and I would do Miss Thomas' hair, and I was her companion. She never had her family. They dropped her off 20 years ago, and ain't looked back. And just so happened we went in there volunteering, and she took a liking,
Mhm.
and that's been my road dog, the sweetest lady I know. You know what I'm saying? She just want that companionship, somebody that acknowledge your existence and love
Mhm.
you. There's so many people that walk around here with depression and nobody acknowledge them. I seen this thing the other day. It says that your friends that are depressed, they don't want to go out, or you always going out and your friend don't never want to go out. Still invite them because that shows that you acknowledge them, that you still love them, and
Mhm.
that they present still matters to you. And if you don't have that, you cut that access off. And if you don't, sometimes you just gotta cut everybody off and get quiet before the Lord.
That's good, best friend. Sometimes you do have to isolate yourself and put yourself in a season of isolation where you just are spending time not intentionally, like, well, it is an intention, but like not separating yourself from people, separating yourself from people for a reason. Like, I need to isolate myself right now because I'm going through some things and I truly need to get closer to God. So I need to deny y'all some access and cut y'all off for a little while because some things are going on with me. I need to inner heal. I need to work on some brokenness and some hurt that I'm feeling. And I need to spend some time with Jesus and figure out what exactly it is that I need to do to get myself well, because I don't want to put all of that, everything
Toxic
that I'm going
energy.
on with my, everything that's going on with myself. I don't want to put that on y'all. So let me take a break. Let me pause, get myself together, and figure out what I need to do for me so that I can be a better version of myself and I can come back out.
Yep.
You know what
That was
y'all,
good, best
yeah.
friend.
Thanks, best
That
friend.
was good.
Yeah, I
That was
know a
good.
big thing for me when like denying people access to me is I'm really big on people and their character. So I'm a really good discerner of people as well. So I'm very observant. So I observe people, and I observe their character, their actions, the things that they value, their morals, how they treat other people, how they interact on a day to day, what they say out of their mouth. Like, I watch all of that type of stuff, and that helps me determine whether or not I want this person to have access to me. Because I want somebody of good value and character in my life. That's something that I truly stand on. I'm a person of good character, and so I want to surround myself with people of good character as well, and people who are optimistic and positive.
Yeah.
Because life is going to throw you a curveball every chance it gets. But you can't let that get you down. You can't let your circumstances define you and who you are. And so I look at how people handle situations and circumstances. How they get through it, and if they can, I look at, how people can, because oftentimes, you truly do have to self encourage and encourage yourself through a lot of stuff. And I look at those type of things in regarding to, what type of people I want to have access to me. Like, I don't want anybody who is all the constantly negative all the time. They don't have anything positive to say. Like God has not given them breath to wake them up in the morning. I don't want that around me. Um, I want people, with good, solid character around me, so who can be like, I know life is beating me up right now, but I know it's not always going to be like this. And, this is happening right now. And I may not even know why it's happening right now, but I know God is going to pull me through it. Bring me through, and I can still look at life from a different perspective. Like, I look for those type of things. In regards to, who I want to have access with me, to me, and who I don't. And also, like, truly listening to God's voice and listening to who He wants to have access to me and who He doesn't. Because at times He may want someone to have access to me that I don't necessarily want to have access to
Mhm.
me. Um, and so determining, why do you want this person to have access to me, and what is it that I need to do for you to bring glory to your kingdom? Why do you want this person to have access to me? Give me the patience that I need, in order to, because you want this person here, what is it that, give me the patience to deal with it, and then, allow me to plant the seed that I need to plant. For that person to give me the tolerance to deal with it. And I feel like as I've grown more spiritually, God has given me a lot of patience and a lot of tolerance for people, patience and tolerance that I didn't know that I would ever have.
Y'all, all my patients that the Lord blessed me with this summer, traffic from the harbor to Pennsylvania Avenue has taken it every day.
and
When I
I
say anxiety, but best friend, that's real good. I'm
Yeah, and
gonna
I
piggyback
have
off
I
of that.
have a lot of like, I have been granted a lot of like patience and tolerance with stuff. And I'm probably one of the most like non-judgmental people that you ever meet. And I think people feel really comfortable talking to me about things because of that. Um and I know that's a gift that God has given me. That's definitely not something that I would have on my own, because I'd be like, listen here, this is too much. I don't have time for it. But I'll sit and I'll listen. Because I know that God wants me to, and I know that even if just for that moment, like He wants me to listen to that person, plant that seed, and keep it moving. But those are things that have helped me determine, who has access to me, and while oftentimes is not what I want, it's what God wants and why. I'm gonna determine, if God's like, and sometimes people be like, okay, this person is cool. God was like, God, like, no, I don't. They're cool, but I don't want this person to enter into your life. And then you trying to figure out and determine why it is that He doesn't want that person there. And discerning why, which will go on into the next question that we had. But I'll let you if you have anything else you want to add before I go on to that.
Just quickly, yeah, the why I didn't stop asking God why. He knows best because you start asking questions, forget opening the cans of worms. You be like, "Come here, my child. Let's open this can of paint." You be like, "You really want to paint this picture for me? All right, Lord, you got it." But just to piggyback onto what you were saying that you may not want them to have access, but God needs them to have access to you. And I receive that because I've grown so much just in our friendship, and I just see the growth in me. And I catch myself when I would be wanting to call and vent about a particular issue that I thought I didn't heal from, and he go the enemy saying, "Here, he like you ain't." You know what I'm saying? You heal, but not all the way. I know you still living by your feelings when it comes to your children. And as soon as I bent, but right then and there, God like he would start revealing it for me too. You know what I'm saying? Like this whole time, I was like, "Lord, what's going on?" Like he said, "You living by your feelings. You got to get to a place that you don't weather, no matter what it looks like, no matter what it seems like. God got to final say." Shout out to I'm in there. I got that from her, though. She be like, hold steady face, and you gotta be like that. And you be like, Lord, why they keep calling me? Especially after you fought for your peace and your mentality, or you may go see a therapist and you've been doing the work, and you got this one person, they vibe or they energy, and you like, Lord, why they keep calling? Like, I'm paying this $125 to see this therapy. Can you bless them with one? And the whole time it's because your positivity meets their negativity and it stop it. That's good, and so sometimes the thing is we keep disqualifying us. That's the thing, we keep disqualifying ourselves. And when you sit with God and you start asking him and you love thyself and you put the access denied and you want to work on yourself and you want to grow, man, God will start showing you things that you didn't even know about yourself. Like, y'all, I didn't even know I was a comedian or a bishop. I didn't even know I was a bishop or a comedian out here. Yes, that lady didn't have no reason to lie to me. I was right up at that outback up there in Hyattsville with my children. I was trying to do, I was laying down the law the good Christian way. And that lady said, "You a prophet?" I said, "Not yet, but you know what? You don't got no reason to lie to me. I received that, man." Prophet is April coming 2020. Oh, man, come on. Don't tell that girl that she gonna run with it. I show him. I'm walking in that anointing. I'm shouting. I can't even wait to get up on the front of the church and shout and run across the church. I ain't never run across the church. It's always the same runners. They don't even give nobody else a chance to run. Yo, but I ain't never known, I used to grow up, wasn't nothing funny to me. I was real serious about stuff. But I got jokes for days. I came into a whole comedian, and sometimes that's what growth is about. Sometimes that's what your act. Sometimes that's what the shits are about. Growth. You know what I'm saying? Good, best friend, yeah. It's not about what they can get from you, but what you can take away from them. Like I said, you gonna have to hit them like my dad. I can already see about that car that you just got out that you couldn't stop. That we ain't going on no date. Not if you driving. Matter of fact, we can just go ahead and get on that D8. I got an Uber card. Yeah. Matter of fact, I don't even know about the D8. I ain't been on the transportation in a while. But if we want to make it romantic, let's go after the morning rush hour, but before the afternoon rush hour, because things get a little shaky on the train. But sometimes you gotta meet people, and sometimes God will bring people back in your life or bring people in your life to humble you. Because we get big headed. Even with God, oh, God got me this truck, God got me this house, God did it. Oh, well, you not doing something right, you ain't living right, so God ain't blessing this. God don't mess no mess. Who are you to look down on somebody? You don't even know what God is doing. God probably done put you in their path to show you where you used to be. That's good. And that's good, best friend, because oftentimes, this is on a whole nother tangent, but oftentimes we forget where we came from. Exactly where we used to be and how we started out as Christians and how we forget that and we start to look at people, differently and thinking, why is this person doing this way? And exactly like you said, who are you to judge somebody else? When at one point in time,
You put in that person's shoes, and that is not your place. God calls us to love people unconditionally. It's not your place to judge them. It's not your place to look down on them or frown your face upon them and be like, why they doing X, Y, and Z. Mind your business.
Yep. You
And
know,
show them the love of God that He has called you to.
yep. I definitely agree. Her next podcast, you guys, just this is a quick intermission. Just want to put this out there. It's called Move But Remember, because sometimes
I didn't know
we
that's what it was
forget.
called.
The Lord just put that on my heart. Move, but remember, sometimes God will move you. You got to be humble. So God got to remind you where you come from. But then also, God is trying to take you to another season of elevation. And we keep holding on to where we at or where we came from. You let that baggage go. Like just like when you put that luggage on that belt up at that airport and it go on and you going on down there and find your flight. That's you got to start dropping stuff. Lord, this yours. I know I made a mess, but Lord, I need your help. This is yours. And yep, so yep, she gonna do that move, but remember.
You writing it down? So I ain't know this was my next podcast call, but apparently it's called Move and Remember. I'm going to move on to the next question. All right, best friend, we got two more to go. So I added this one at the last minute, but I thought it was very important to discuss it. So I wanted to talk about how God sends people into your life, but He also permits the devil to send people into your life as well, and how we determine who sent them. So, a big thing is like, who sent you? Like determining who's God sent, who's devil sent. Yeah.
The devil think he's smarter than God. So, God always got a ram in the bush. He already and appointed and anointed for you to win. And how do you determine? We go back to the other answer. Is it a hinder or is it a help? Are they a giver or are they a taker? Are they a blessing or are they a lesson? And if you don't know, you need to get right up in that prayer closet and don't let go until God start releasing some answers. And I'm gonna tell you, sometimes you're gonna have to fall asleep. That's some good sleep, y'all. Man, go and get that prayer closet. You ain't even gotta have the whole one. Just get a little corner in there, get your scripture and your Bible and put some music on. And even if you don't know where to start, just let him. He gonna come by and see you. I promise you. And he gonna tell you who sent who. And if it's the devil, God gonna give you the play like a football player, how to maneuver and get to victory. You know what I'm saying? And if it's God sent, it don't matter how much you try to push that person away. They ain't even gonna let go. They ain't gonna let go. They ain't going. You can be like, you know what? All right, I'm gonna call you tomorrow. They call you. You ain't call me. I thought you would have forgot. Nope. They ain't gonna let you go. They holding on because once God sends someone in your life, and they can't leave until they fulfill what He has them to do. I don't care how you feel. God doesn't live by our emotions. God doesn't live by our feelings. God is trying to develop us and get us to a place that where we're not shaken by what the world looks like or whatever the devil think he can get us off course. You know what? He trying to get us to a place to we're not shaken, just like how he was up on the mountain and he was talking about that food and that snake. Boy, I ain't gonna lie, y'all. That was me. I was like, you got some hot wings.
You know what? I can't.
Lord forgive me that he had hot wings, Jesus. Nashville had it. And blue cheese, he working up here on this mountain. Lord, please help me. God, I would have been like, Lord, if it ain't for you, just go. From you, God, just go ahead and just make them burn. And I ain't even gonna lie, Pastor was just talking about that, the fleeces. We supposed to be growing a little bit more in faith, and depending where you are in your faith walk, don't feel bad about it. But you can use the fleece. But I haven't quite figured out how to do the fleece thing, talk to God without the devil trying to intercept and hear because he like that the devil like that person on three-way. He don't know how to get off the phone. The conversation not for him. So you don't got my guy to develop your own little language. You know what I'm saying? I come right up in this house and God know when I don't turn this TV on and I just got some Tasha Cobbs or I got some Tasha Cobbs going or even some Donnie McClurkin and it's real loud and I don't play more than two songs. He come on by here and see about his child. You got to develop that relationship, but you got to want it. You got to want the relationship with God. You got to be intentional. And that comes once you have that, the discernment of knowing who's and coming in your life and who sent them in your life, it starts to get a
That's
little
yes.
easier and less overwhelmed. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? And I'm somebody, y'all, I used to think everybody was good. I'm like, I can't judge this book up by a cover. So now I'm taking pictures, I'm sending it to the group text messages. What y'all think? It look like God or Satan? Let's pray over it.
Listen, it's true because it's like I think having a relationship with God, number one, helps you determine who's God sent and who's devil sent. 1 Corinthians 14:33 is one of the scriptures that I stand on in determining, if this person is from God or if this is a person that God has permitted the devil to enter into my life. It's for God is not the author of confusion but of peace. And I always remember that God is not the author of chaos or confusion. So if somebody comes into my life and the whole situation is chaotic, it's confusing, it's causing me to misunderstand things, it's just a mess. Like I remember God is not the author of mess. And I know he wouldn't bring anybody into my life to intentionally cause any harm to me, to confuse me, to throw me into mess, into a situation that's messy. I know that's not from God. And I was on Instagram actually this week, and I took a screenshot of it because it was so powerful to me. A girl had put the difference between God's voice and Satan's voice, and I screenshot it and I kept it because to help. And I wanted to. I'll talk about it in a minute to help you determine, like if a situation is from God or if it's from Satan. And she said that God's voice will still you, and Satan's voice rushes you because God is not a God of haste. Like there's no time. Um, and God, when it comes to God, there's no time. Time is something that we've created. So, God's voice will still you. It gives you peace. Satan's voice makes you feel rushed and hasty.
Anxiety.
Yeah, God's voice, his voice will lead you and Satan's voice will push you. God's voice reassures you and Satan's voice will frighten you. God enlightens you and Satan confuses you. God encourages you and Satan will discourage you. God comforts you and Satan worries you. God calms you and Satan will obsess you, make you start to obsess over something. God convicts you and Satan condemns you. And she goes on to say, God is never early and he's never late. He's always right on time. His plans for you are good. God is a God of love and order. And if the voice you are hearing doesn't sound like those things, then they are not from him. And I keep that when determining whether or not, someone is, who they're sent from. What do they look like? Does this situation look like God or does it clearly straight up look like the devil? Because when somebody looks like they've come from God. And when this person is fully Satan sent. If I've been praying, 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 like even let's say like it's in regards to like a romantic relationship or like I want to like God I'm if Satan knows stuff, so like he knows my interests, he knows my likes, he knows what
Mm-hmm.
makes me go and he knows all of that stuff. And so it's like if I know that I'm attracted to a certain type of individual and I know that I'm working towards not going that route, if this person comes up and it looks like
That
every
whole
single thing
package.
that I said, no, 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 clearly I know.
Right. You're gonna be like,
Clearly.
oh, I need a receding headline or something.
I know we don't need that.
Look,
But
I need something. This too
yeah,
much of the package, and then it comes too quick.
yeah, but clearly, it's like clearly I know that no, God, this is not from you. This is because the thing is like we give the devil too much credit. He is not as smart as he seems. He does things the exact same way. So if you have a pattern of doing things the same way, and this person comes up and looks just like the pattern that you just said I'm trying to break. Clearly, you know that that's not from God. Like I'm not about to sit there and play. I ain't got time to play games with you, Satan. So it's like truly me being able to spend time with God and truly know who He is and know what He has for me that allows me to determine, where this person came from, and me making sure that I don't blind myself. Because oftentimes when you meet people, if it's something like even if because people can put masks on for a little while, and if you're not, on it, you can be like, oh, this person, people can, easily deceive you. So
And
making
that
sure,
falls around about
yes,
that 90-day, 4-month mark,
I'm gonna need
y'all.
to define. I'm gonna need
And
to fall earlier than that because
you
three
know,
months is a long time
yeah,
to wait.
it is a long time, and sometimes it can show up sooner.
Hmm.
But I've in history and just trials and error and experience around about that between I want to say between that 65 day and that hundred and
Child,
five
I know
day,
before that I ain't got no
it's
65
starting.
days.
I want to say I'm okay. Let me go back, y'all. The man starts to slip around 3 weeks. No, for real. But we done already done been wooed. Or, oh, this a new friend and she got money. We can go, go to happy hour. We're just gonna be honest, cause we single women taking care of ourselves. We gotta get them 56 wings. We can't afford the dinner time, so we go lunch and the happy hour. So we up at happy hour getting the wings. And the thing is, if you're not ready, you have to set your own boundaries. Which is why I was saying love thyself. Because the enemy was saying you, just like Dre said, he was saying you everything. Man, he was saying you everything, probably a little extra special. You'd be like, dang, he really is a millionaire. And it's legit money. It's not your time. Especially after you just ask God to help you, deliver you, and remove you out of that situation. And God just like, and I just get you out of here, and this is what you're gonna run right back into. And sometimes we have to, like Dre said, break your own cycle. If you know you keep meeting them at the convenience store, stop going to the convenience store.
Yeah, stop going to the
No more.
convenience store.
I'm not talking about just that convenience store. I'm talking about all of them. Leave them all alone, cause saying no, that's your hangout spot. You right there. Hey, miss, can you excuse me, man? You married? I don't see no ring on that finger. Not right now. It ain't come from the Lord. I'm tired of the devil burning my finger. Oh, please, young man, out the door. I'm going to get a ginger ale. Thank you.
And if you want to play at their level, just be like, they be like, you got a man, be like, yeah, I got three trying to be them before. Anybody trying to be them before, they gonna leave you alone, sis. I promise.
Yeah, promise.
Then again, child, somebody might be trying to be them before. I don't know. I'm just trying to get y'all a little funny advice.
Yeah, no, I'm cool, and I've always fallen in. I fall in love easily, and now it's just like what? I enjoy my friends and my kids and my family. Majority of them are crazy, but they keep me busy. You know what I'm saying? You got to keep yourself busy and not look for your voice in other people. So that's another thing what the devil do.
He will allow you to look for
your
other
boy,
people.
and your flaws. It be they have it, and so now you feel
compelled to them. You compelled to that person because trauma attracts trauma. So it's kind of like if they've gone through something similar in which you've gone through, and you want to be that person and help them. Nah, I can't do that. One thing that I have truly been working on, and you access and I grow and working on this year is where I've been working on myself a lot and making sure that I'm whole and complete as a person. And as I'm going through that and just truly like sitting with God and being intimate and vulnerable with Him and getting to know Him just so much more and learning myself so much more and being just so complete and truly understanding the concept that I don't need another person to complete me. It has changed things so much for me. Like I'm not looking like I don't want your trauma. Like I don't want anybody else's trauma. I don't want to bring anybody else any of my issues. I don't want that. Like I want to make sure I have taken care as much of my issues that I can take care of before I go into a season where I'm, getting ready to marry. I find a husband, get all of that. Like I want to make sure all I have taken care. I can't wait to dance at that reception. I'm gonna make the sound man, so I hope y'all get the invite, but if not, we'll have a podcast. I'll let y'all know how it all was. But you're right. Just to kind of piggyback off that, I wrote down, it's crazy that you just said that doing the work. And we talked about flaws and voice because it came to me identifying what you are missing. And what you're missing from your childhood. Because for me, my experience is I didn't grow up with my dad. And so I didn't grow up with that male figure cheering me on. You start to look for that in other people. So I started looking for that, and then I'm starting to look for them to appreciate what I'm doing and love on me. But I was raised as an alpha female, you know what I'm saying? And so handle my business for the most part. I was, but I look for that, and so what happened is I start to accept less because here's what happened: you're male, and you want to be in my face, and you give me hugs, and you may tell me I'm beautiful every once in a while, and that's okay for me. But you're that person you should be beautiful every day, especially when you be like you all gushy inside about them, and you're handsome.
If it's not, let it go.
Exactly. Like it's sweet, but like the stuff that they're saying is nice, but small stuff like that shouldn't be something that affirms you so much in which you start to get, stuck on stupid, if that makes sense. Like you.
But what happens though, best friend, is that it is the affirmation. And
Mhm.
even though we can't minimize it though, because depending on where that person was in their childhood or even in their adulthood, they never got that.
Mhm.
They never been celebrated.
Mhm.
They never been praised. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? And these things are not necessarily bad, but sometimes people overdo it. So if you never got that from in your childhood from your mom, your dad, or anyone, as
Mhm.
soon as you meet somebody
Who
that
doesn't?
gives you
Yeah.
that, baby, you ain't trying to let them go because you need that. But God already got that for y'all.
Exactly, and that's where I was talking about that I've been in that place, in a place of course, like getting to know God, and then because I'm getting to know Him and I know what He says about me, it makes me value myself more, appreciate my worth more, and I have this such a self love for myself, that like I love myself so much that somebody complimenting me isn't going to be my end all to be
Right.
all. It's an added bonus, thank you, but it's like I know I'm beautiful, like I know I'm worth more, like I know all of these things about myself because I know it about myself, like I realize it about myself. I'm not easy to be it's not easy to deceive me, if that makes sense, or to kind of throw me off my game, because I know what God says about me, and I truly feel that about myself. And I think that's for a long time, that's something that I was missing. Like I understood that that's what God felt about me, but I didn't feel it within myself. So even though like I know God loves me and I know I'm fearfully and wonderfully made, I know all this stuff. And I know He loves me with an everlasting love. I know all of that. But I don't feel it. And because I don't feel it, I'm still allowing myself to be easily deceived by men in situations, with compliments and stuff like that. And I find myself in the same situation over and over again because I know a word, but I don't. That word isn't embedded in my heart. But now, like it's truly ingrained within me. It's not as easy for me to be, oh, yeah, thank you for the compliment, bro. But it's like, yeah, you can keep it moving because I know how I feel about myself. So what else outside of this compliment? What else, can you bring to the table? What's your relationship with God looking like? What's your salvation status looking like? What are you doing? How are you serving? Like, how are you ministering? Like, what are your goals? What are your ambitions? All this stuff that, I now can I have no problem, voicing that and addressing that, and because I'm confident. Andrea is confident in who Andrea is, and I truly stand on how God sees me, and it's not you not about to easily deceive me because of it. At this point in my walk, if I'm deceived, it's because I chose to be, because there's no reason why I should be, because I know my patterns, I know what I do, I know my signs. Right now, at this point, I can't even make an excuse. If I choose to do something stupid, it's because Andrea chose to do it. It's not because, oh, I didn't know. You knew. You chose it.
Yeah.
Like at this point, it's a choice. So I have no other reason to deny it. And so that's also making that known too. Like, we have free will and we have free choice. But I'm at the point now where like I truly don't want, like I love God so much that I don't want to disappoint Him. And even though at times my flesh gets weak and things are hard, like I truly don't want to disappoint Him and things against what do things against His will and what He desires and what He wants for me, because I want what He wants for me. Like I literally try my best to stay on top of my game and make sure I do things the way that He has called me to do them.
I think I've gotten a lot better with just rocking when God say no. Like He say no. Let me tell y'all, I don't even. You're not even getting a courtesy call or text. If God say let it go, baby, I let that thing go so quick. Like it was like I had some llama beans. Like we ain't having no conversation. We not we're not having a conversation about it, because here's the thing that I realized: when God say no, that was the answer.
Mm-hmm.
That was the end of it. And if you keep reaching back and quote unquote explanation and
Mm-hmm.
closure, as we like to put the title on it,
I know, right?
all that is giving the devil
More
another
access.
and more access, and then I gotta come at her with another trick.
Mm-hmm.
So now you're telling somebody you gotta cut them off because of the season over. They'll come back. Oh, but listen, I really, really need you. Now I don't got no place to go, honey. You got some type of relative, and if not, there's a church or a shelter. Straight up, we have the resources there that we can't allow people to play on our mental. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? And again, it goes back to childhood trauma. It's important to address childhood trauma, even if you didn't have a lot. There's some things and situations that's happened that cause you to navigate life and dating the way you do. You
Mhm.
know what I'm saying? You accept less. Like for instance, and I think it go back and forth, but statistics has showed, domestic violence. Domestic violence is pretty much seen in the household, and it's a learned behavior. And some people think that's love. Some people they gonna go toe to toe with you. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
You not gonna beat on me. And even if you did see it or you seen it a little bit, you ain't gonna beat on me. I don't care what I seen. I don't care what the devil showed me in my childhood. But Lord, what I'm believing for is a loving spouse. What I'm believing for is a loving parent that could for our children
Mhm.
to stay underneath this covenant to honor you. Like I want our life to reflect you because in this household we serve the Lord,
Mhm.
and we're not perfect, and that's what people got to kind of get out of. Even when it comes down to putting, when we get down to religion, everybody got to be perfect petty. If that was the case, then God wouldn't even be using us as vessels for His kingdoms of other people.
If we were perfect, Jesus wouldn't be necessary.
Right. He would if we was honestly, if we was perfect, then we wouldn't even need the access through prayer for the Lord.
Mhm.
Because we know it all. And though some of us walk around here like that, even when we want to be all boastful, but in quiet, we want to talk to God, He already know, and that's how the grace and mercy, His love and compassion. Because even though me and Dre are doing access denied, the Lord got you. Go ahead and call Him up.
All right, best friend. We on the last question, girl. This is it.
That's good.
We been talking for a minute, best friend. All right, the last question is: describe a time you allowed someone to have access to you who you shouldn't have, and the outcome of it. And I believe we all have been in that space where we kind of allow somebody to have access to us who we knew shouldn't have had access to us, but we allowed them to have it anyway. And it just turned out, girl. I have
The,
my situation. I'll let you
the
go first.
yeah, I'm not gonna. I have three.
No names, no
We're
names.
not gonna do any names. I'm just trying to see which one is the lighter and the quicker of the three. I'm gonna the second one. So I had no business being in that relationship, and I allowed the enemy to play on my feelings,
Mhm.
and he knew I was sitting right there at my feelings, and he sent what I thought I needed, which was I felt like something was taken or someone was taken away from me, and so I just wanted to be loved,
Mhm.
and I had no business being there. And then the crazy part is I seen the sign, but I felt like I was stuck. When I seen that this man, father, advanced me, I was like, what? And you knew we had a ring. And the crazy part about it is God saved me. Before I can lose everything, y'all.
Mhm.
He saved me. When I say everything, y'all, everything. I was like, I've always been, a little quiet. I was that little girl. No, I don't want to ride a fire truck, or, I want to see the police lights, but I don't want to talk to the police.
She lied. She was not quiet.
Yes, I am. I am. I am. I'm very shy. Thank y'all for, cheering me on tonight. But in this incident, I was like, law enforcement, I'm gonna need y'all to get behind me like I'm telling the devil get behind me because I need help.
Mhm.
And you know what happened? I had to sit in it. That's when I learned how to start sitting in my mess,
Mhm.
sitting in my trials and error, not beating myself up, y'all. Hear me out, but sitting in it, feeling the funk, learning the lesson, and getting over it with prayer and fasting and with the Lord, and he will bring you out on top. Like to be by yourself, you know what I'm saying? To be by yourself, and you used to, you know what I'm saying, the last 7, 8 years you
Mhm.
had that warm body next to you, and then you by yourself, you know what I'm saying? or you had this extra income, or you're used to date night, or you're used to showing up to family event, and then you showing up solo, or you got to make a decision if you really want to go because it's going to be couples there. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? And though you cheer for them and you will have a good time, it may take you back to a sad place. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? So that's where it also comes to as far as knowing your boundaries, knowing that self, and implementing your boundaries. Like for me, I'm just gonna be straight up with you guys. I'm not about to be no third wheel on no date. I don't even care if they offering hot wings. If that's the case, drop them hot wings on y'all way back off at the house, Nashville hot. And I appreciate it, but I'm not gonna be that third wheel
Mhm.
because I might enjoy the experience, but a part of me gonna wish that I was there with somebody else. You know what I'm saying? So you have to know yourself, and you don't take it out on the person that invited you. Respectfully and nicely decline because they thought about you. And for real, they probably wanted you to come along so you won't be home or in a depression. And
Mhm.
in that, you have to stay busy. When you're in the middle of a funk and you're blocking somebody access and you got it, the season is up, you're gonna miss that connection. Get busy, work on
Mhm.
yourself, talk to God, pick up a skill, pick up a book. It's time to read a whole nother book. If you don't know what's next, baby, a book will bless and save your life.
Girl, yes it will.
And it's not even a book that you're interested in. That would be my favorite thing. I always pick up the weirdest book and then I'll be starting to quote the book
You
and
be a
you
whole blessing
God,
to
yeah,
yourself.
then God done started using the book to talk to me and I'm just like, God, I was this jacked up. Okay, well, let's make a comedy joke out of it. Okay, get to writing it down, y'all, and that's just keep busy. Date yourself. You know what I'm saying? Date your kids. One of the best things that I love about my kids is Friday night, even though they don't change. It's a hot wing and Chick-fil-A thing. But I look forward to taking my kids out. You know what I'm saying? I order my son his hot wings and he run in there and he pay for it with his money. We go to Chick-fil-A. He open the door for his sister and me. They get their food and they talk about mommy still not eating bread and when how long is we gonna keep this up? We have a good conversation and then we come on home, Not only that, even if you don't have that, I'm pretty sure there's somebody in your life, family or friend,
Mhm.
older that would love a phone call or love a visit. Surprise somebody. And you don't necessarily gotta buy them something. Shoot, you can have something, maybe a pound of lemon cake laying around the house. Just take it in a cup of coffee. Go get that wisdom. I get so much wisdom from actually both sides of the age group, the youngins and the old. I learned a lot of wisdom too from sinners. You know what I'm saying? I don't write them all because here's the thing about sinners: they have wisdom just like the saints. What I learned about sinners is they know what they do. They know that they are covered, and the thing is, they're trying. I believe that they are trying to change, but life has gotten a hold of them, and they stuck. Whereas what a saint, used to be a sinner. You know what I'm saying? Not necessarily saying 100% perfect, but they life don't look like where it used to be. You
Mhm.
know what I'm saying? So with that, yeah, establish your boundaries, you guys. Establish your boundary. Learn to let go and know when basically you're not tripping, your notion and your gut and in your spirit. That is your cue to go the opposite way, to let go, to drop it, drop one. How we say the fire stuff, drop and roll
Stop, drop, and
when
roll.
you feel when somebody even when you if it's an issue in a conflict, because God always say when it's a conflict, go be reconcile.
Mhm.
So if you go and they don't want to hear you out, you gotta back away. If you go and they say you tripping, that's your cue to get up out of there because they not about to hear where they at. It's not where you at. They not going to receive it. You can't build anyone up as you're building yourself. If they're not building, they're going to tear you down. They're tearing you down. They're not laying any bricks. You may not bend, but you can't. I'm sorry. You may not break, but you will bend if you allow people to continue to use you. And they're not even supposed to be there. You got to know who. when and to give your attention to. Be careful because all attention is not good
Mm-hmm.
attention. And we go back to even, sorry y'all, we're recapping attention and bad attention. Sometimes people don't even want help. They don't even want your advice. They just want you to listen and want you to be like, "Oh, girl, you should have did this, stump her out." "Oh, girl, I wouldn't even let him do all this and that." You can't even engage in that. Stop right then and there. If you don't have somebody that you can call on to stop you in your negative thoughts, let that person go. Period.
Accountability, yeah.
Accountability. Accountability. Like you, and I'm telling y'all from somebody that really almost, lost their mind. Like I had things so planned out, and that's why I just thank God for my friend Andrea, because even when I'm rarely up, and for the most part, I'm on joke time, but I do get rowdy up. And I think it's because I'm understanding like her. I think I'm a little bbit more understanding than Dre. She ain't with a lot of
You don't have
foolishness.
time for
I kind of hear you out entertaining a little bit. Cause it's a joke that's gonna come out of it. God gonna bless it. But you gotta know when to walk away. You gotta know when to let it go. They not listening. They not trying to hear it. Let it go. I called Dre. I can be fired up. I feel like, man, I ain't gonna tell. I feel like I had slipped back, y'all. Soon as I call her best friend, she don't even tell. She don't tell me. I ain't got time for this. She hear me out. Be saying prayer. And then I'd be like, you know what, best friend? I was living by my feelings. Man, the fact that in that same conversation, God can turn it around. And I'll be going right back. I go straight to sleep. I do. It's like a whole big. And you guys gave me, blessed me with her because he don't be trying to pick up the phone all the time. So I quote Andrea.
you think God be putting her on hold. I
He
need you to listen to
do.
this
He be,
girl.
he be like, oh, you got all these prayer requests at 4 a.m. Lord, why did I wake you up this early? You could have just got up at 6. So by 7 o'clock, you on them phones. I gotta answer other prayer requests. I be like, oh Lord, you ain't answered this. I didn't get a response on this. I'm following up on this prayer request.
Wow, she just stay on Showtime. Tag Netflix, please, so she can get her special.
But yeah, and address any hurt in your heart.
Mm-hmm.
Forgive yourself. Seek therapy if it's needed.
Yes.
Know what you bring to the table emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and financially. Um, we not give 2020, y'all. We not giving nobody no money. Period. Period. We ain't unless we cash apping for some food or some clothes. We ain't cut that off. That's an abuse of power, and we just impeached Trump. Date yourself. It's a part of self care. I want every man and woman to develop a routine of self care. And I'm not saying you got to go out here and spend $300 a month on yourself, but I want you to pick one day out of the week and get quiet with yourself, enjoy yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Where if it comes to taking yourself to dinner, making yourself dinner, getting your nails and your feet done, reaching out to your go-to person, your girlfriend, your good buddy, y'all link up, do that. And self care. It's not about what they can do for you. I want in that self care moment, what can you do for somebody else?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's not about you. Even though you're taking care of self, it's you give into self. But what can you give to somebody else? And you don't look for a return.
Mm-hmm.
Give it freely and willingly. But the potential into the picture, do not change who you are. If you go to church on Sunday, 10 o'clock and the 12 o'clock service, you should still be at the 10 o'clock and 12 o'clock service. If you go to the gym 5 days a week before you met this person, you should still be going to the gym 5 days a week. If you eat better, make an exception for a good root for steak every now and then. Treat yourself. Don't cheat yourself. But basically continue to do you because here's the thing: both of you, if they're there and if they're sent by God, your lives will merge slowly, freely.
Mm-hmm.
Versus, you know what? You work 7 to 3, and then I work 4 to 11. We ain't gonna see no. It ain't gonna work. It ain't. That wasn't even God blessing that. Get on up out of here, Satan. And y'all, that's my cue on it. Access denied. Access has been denied. Access will continue to be denied until the weather change and the light
Oh
on the sky get up a little bit lighter. Cause I don't know. I can't see people at night. I
I
can't.
can't. I don't
Oh,
even remember
real
what my
quick,
answer to the question was.
real quick, y'all. Real quick. Let me put this piece out there since we wrapping up. The dating up at the house situation. God bless you with this house and your apartment, wherever you live at your shelter. Um, you shouldn't even be dating in your house. You shouldn't. That courting stuff. Oh, I'm gonna come over and cook and the movie.
Tell the
No,
people, girl. Tell the
tell we
people.
ain't doing that. First of all, God just bless you with the stamps. You gonna cook your stamps for them people? We ain't nah. They ain't cable or your fast. Come on, no, we not about to let them use your resources. Date on the outside of your houses. That go for men. That go for women. Meet me at Starbucks. We can meet at Marshalls. We can meet at TJ Maxx. We can meet
TJ
at
Maxx.
we can meet at Bed Bath and Beyond and Bath and Body Works. I really like those candles, and I know those candles go on sale on like Thursdays, 14.97. So
She
like
trying to get a gift. I'm
if you
done.
you know you can date outside, and let me tell you the best place to take a date. This how you, if you don't know nothing else, bring them to the First Baptist Church and then on that 12 o'clock service. The Lord gonna use pastor and he gonna call it right on out because
You better plug our
pastor
church, girl.
we
Plug
got
it. Plug it.
let me tell you, pastor been on it. Now I don't know what the 8 and the 10 o'clock get, but he know us 12 o'clock. I know he know this got to be the heathen crowd. He don't hold back. So let me tell you, you come up in there. I don't care if you even a guest. He got it's going. Your answer gonna come. Bring them to church. We don't cook after church service, but it is a Jasper's down the street. I do like Jasper's. Um, and Kitchen Craig, they got good food. So yeah, please join us. I'm usually at the 12 o'clock service. We do sit up front. So look for us and look for Drea. She be there. She be there more at the 10 o'clock. The Lord's still working on me with the 10 o'clock service. I have two kids and they're getting real teenagers, but church. When I tell you, and here's the thing, they need to be about the actions. Forget the words. It's the actions. Action, words, and patterns. This is what I go by. If you can't stand on your word, then you don't have a bond. Your action is your pattern. If you tell me you're gonna go to church, I'm trying to cash in on that ASAP because we're going to the next service next week too. We're gonna keep going. So if you about that business, and if you about well, first of all, if you about me and you about the kingdom business, then going to church is not even an issue. If
Non-negotiable.
it's non-negotiable, and I am willing to visit a church. But let me tell you something. It can be real early. You know what I'm saying? And we need some clapping songs. We like to move. We kind of get a little cardio going up at the First Baptist Church of Glen Norton. So I'm gonna need that. And other than that, don't ask to meet my family. Don't. We not. First of all, y'all stop introducing people to your kids so soon. Like for real. I don't. I mean, I
I
know Steve
can't.
Harvey gonna say you ain't
Bye.
supposed to do this.
You know what? We were supposed to
No,
be answering
for
the
real.
whole
I know
question.
he be like, you ain't supposed to do this.
She
How
went
you
on a
supposed to know
whole
if your
tangent
kids?
for like 20 minutes.
How your
Yes.
kids? They gonna be like, you waste a whole year with this person, dating this person. Your kids don't like them, and they don't like your kids. Cool. That's the deal breaker. My kids don't like you. You gotta go. I pushed them out. I birthed them. I created them. Oops. Don't let the door hit you. God bless you. And I pray that you meet the person for you. But that's the deal breaker.
I
Period.
cannot go. Gosh, April, you are hilarious. Listen, I'm gonna give my input to the question. She wanted a whole 20-minute tangent, and we're gonna wrap this thing up. So the question was: describe the time you allowed someone to have access to you who shouldn't have, and the outcome of it. I don't even know the answer to my answer to the question. April answered it, then she went on a whole other tangent with her final point.
Bishop Lynette in the
Bishop, the
house.
name prophetess April in the house. So the time I allowed someone to have access to me when they shouldn't have it was in a relationship that I was in. And I had been praying, asking God, to reveal the person to me, asking him whether or not this person was supposed to be in my life. And in my mind, God was silent. I wasn't hearing anything from him, and I took his silence as a yes. And so I just continued to go forth with it. But the entire time, even though he was being silent, I wasn't hearing him. I was getting convictions within my spirit that was telling me, and they were telling me no. Um, so I ended up, dealing with this person for months on end, and it didn't turn out. The outcome of it didn't turn out well because eventually, even though I felt as though God was silent, I kept. Eventually, I knew. I don't think I even knew till it was over that it wasn't, what God um had for me, but I had allowed this person access to me for over a year's time, and I shouldn't have, and it didn't end well. And I think had I gone into it with the intention in which eventually once it was over, I understood, why God had placed us together. And I think once I had understood that in the beginning, I think things would have turned out a lot differently. But because I allowed his silence to be a yes to me, and I didn't listen to how the Holy Spirit was convicting me within, it turned into something that it shouldn't have, and it ultimately ended a friendship, and that was the outcome of it. So I think it's very important for you to truly, when you're entering into any type of relationship, whether it be romantic, whether it just be a friendship, um, whether it be work related, whatever, to truly use your discernment, to truly pray, um, not take God's silence, as a yes, but truly wait on Him and listen to what it is that He has to say in regards to it. And move from there. Be cognizant in the way that you move in relationships, and be very intentional. Try to figure out the purpose. Try to figure out the why, and try to discern whether or not this person should have access to you. I truly hope that this last girl, we've been talking for an hour and a half, that this hour and 30 minutes has been beneficial to you in some way. I know it's been hilarious to you in some way because I've been sitting here cracking up. But I truly hope that we drop some gems of knowledge, drop some gems of wisdom in a humorous and funny and a lighthearted way, and just truly allows you to understand, what it means to just be intentional in relationships, and allowing people to have access to you, and to why they should and why they should not. I'll be back hopefully next month with another topic and some more special guests. I thank you for spending your time with me. Thank you for gracing me with your presence. April, do you have anything you want to add before we close out and end?
Yes, thank you for having me, and it has blessed me. And I just thank God that I have came into my own and gotten over my fears, y'all. This is my first speaking
And you would have
engagement
never
and
known.
in my podcast, and just being obedient because I'm a behind the scenes person. I did everything behind the scenes. I'm that person that I like to support my friends and even my family. I don't mind playing the back part, but God is positioning me in a season where I'm coming to the forefront, and He got my best friend that got my hand. Like we doing this together. And when I tell y'all she ain't letting go, she ain't letting go. And I started this morning. I was gonna be like, best friend, we should just wait after Christmas. And y'all, let me tell you what happened. My phone just went dead, and it was fully charged. And I was just like, "All right, Lord, I'm gonna be obedient tonight." Then I get off at work, and then they like, you can't leave." And I'm just like, first of all, that podcast is anointed and ordained. I gotta do this. I'm getting home, and so just to be able to be in this space and be able to just thank God and talk about His wonderful works, and not just even just talk about pray. You gotta pray to God, and y'all know how us old Southern Baptists do us. But just to know that He's real in this time as He
Hmm.
was in that time and in His time, He's still present, He still cares, and no issue or no situation or no question is too small for Him. You know
Hmm.
what I'm saying? It's to the point. My aunt used to tell me, y'all, you gotta ask God about everything every morning. And Dre is my witness, y'all. I was late to work every day. I would cry, and I'm like, best friend, they picking on me, and I knew I was wrong. I was late getting to work. So now I get my butt in the bed early. Now I can't figure out what I'm going to wear, but what I do is I wake up early enough to start asking God, what I'm wearing to work today, what I'm wearing to work today, and by the time I got out the shower, I don't even care if it don't look right. It's an outfit, and I'm not going nowhere to project. To impress them. I just need to make sure I look presentable and professional. He can tell you the crazy thing. Put on some orange pants and put on a purple shirt. That's what I'm going to do. Cause you supposed to, you got, but you know, and the thing is, you be like, well, Lord, this, you got me all looking crazy. That's because there's somebody out there that's supposed to see you. You the angel. And so he gotta, he gotta make sure you set apart. Oh, set apart. That's the next podcast show.
I
Set
thought it was
apart.
moving
But yeah, I
remember,
just
so it
thank
probably
God.
is two titles.
He said, and you know what? He set us apart so that in the perfect season and in the season to where we can cross. That if that ain't good, man, I can't wait to get. I'm not washing no dishes when I get back to heaven, but I'm going to thank him when I get back for this friendship.
Oh gosh, April, thank you so much for being my special guest. I have thoroughly enjoyed you, best friend. This has been an awesome conversation. Hopefully, the people who are listening have taken something from it, from our hour, Lord child, our hour and 40-minute conversation. Hopefully, y'all have stuck with us through the whole time. I'm sure you paused and took a break and came back, but I appreciate you all so much, April. I appreciate you. You'll be back again very, very soon. The next topic isn't move and remember, but it's something else, and I can't wait for that conversation. I'm not going to tell you now. I'm going to tell you later. But thank you all so much for sticking it out with me. I thank you for listening, taking time out to listen to my podcast. And I'll be back again in January with something else. Have a wonderful holiday. Spend time with your family. Remember to spend time with God above all else. Get to know Him, sit at His feet, worship Him, praise Him. Just that. Ooh, just so much I could say, but just get truly, y'all, spend time getting to know Him. Getting to know Him and having a relationship with Him will truly alter and change the course of your life like never before. Be blessed. I love you. I'll be back. Dropping gems again soon. And yeah, take care, gems. Bye.
Bye.